Hello guys, it's Sunday and I might be wrong, but there has not been a Sunday vlog on this channel before, but there's a very special reason that I'm doing this on a Sunday, and it's to document church, or as much of it as is respectful. So today's video is called Staying in Evangelical Space. Now what do I mean by that? Well, I was raised evangelical up to the age of 18 at least, and now I attend a church that is pretty much in line with those teachings, more or less. I'd say it's an even, the Protestant church that I attend is very evangelical for all intents and purposes, and I disagree with a lot of things that they teach. But that does not mean that I do not talk to people I disagree with, because that's not productive. So I made this decision a few months back to stay in evangelical space, because I think dialogue is important. I think interfaith dialogue is important, or ecumenical dialogue is important. So that's why I do it. I also do it to have more social ties in London, because one thing that this church does get right is the incredible effort they put into making people feel welcome, and I think that's something that's good. So it is 6:15 in the morning. I am skating over to church to help set up the drums. So let's go do that.
Now what you start to see is that while Marnie keeps her 90% and God blesses that, your 10% goes to start lighting up the rest of what needs to be done.
Just in the bathroom right now. So my job was to set up the drums, and we did that on time, mostly. And the service is going on right now, and yeah, everything's fine. I always find that as the service goes on, I get less cynical of the thing I'm participating in. But it's always refreshing to leave as well and head to Mass. Church done. Time to go to Mass. If I don't fall over in this rain. So that was good, I tend to leave encouraged from Hillsong, but also with a feeling that this is not complete enough theology for me. So, not that going to a Catholic church completes it, but it's like the salt to the sugar, or the sugar to the salt. I'm not sure which one's which really, but it just gives a more balanced flavor. Hi. There's something good about coming from the Catholic service. I always leave feeling like my heart has received something. I don't know what it is, but I always have that feeling. So, right. Staying in evangelical space. I believe that for me, doing this, in summary, it's about starting and maintaining an ecumenical conversation at the heart of my religious practices, and from that being able to transition into an interfaith conversation, or a faith to no faith conversation. I think that is one of the most important things for any religious practice to be able to maintain, to have a search for truth that is inclusive and not exclusive, but whilst maintaining dogma that is helpful for the individual. Does that make sense? I don't know if that makes sense to me. As in being really hopeful about the things that give you hope, whilst maintaining space for new information, new ideas, new ways of understanding the divine and spirit and humanity. That's what staying in evangelical space means to me. I theologically do not consider myself an evangelical anymore, and I do not subscribe to... It's a complicated one, but I do not think billions and billions of people are going to end up permanently in hell with no way of getting out. And so I would say that those are some qualifying evangelical beliefs. And yeah, at the moment I've got a more purgatory sense of hell, really, in terms of what I think happens to the soul on its journey to God after death. But I don't have time to get into that right now, and hell is not the point. The point of life is not death, and the point of exploring life and exploring what life means, it's not about isolation. That shouldn't be the focus. The focus should be consolation, not desolation. Doesn't mean we shouldn't talk about it, but I'm just saying for this, like, that's what I'm trying to say. Like, I define my spirituality by what gives me life, and the Catholic faith is giving me life right now, so I would say I'm 2/3 towards that. But staying in evangelical space also means honoring where I grew up and realizing this is where I came from, and I have a right, or I have a vocation almost, to be in this community and to be talking to other people who may or may not be on a similar journey to me, where they're struggling with evangelicalism but they don't see a way out, or they're super happy in the evangelical box and maybe need someone to ask them some questions that I've been asking to myself, you know? And so that relationship is really interesting to me, post-evangelical to current evangelical, and at the same time allowing myself to be re-challenged by evangelicalism. It's not, I don't think it's something that I've completely, and I don't think it's something I've cut off from my life, and I don't think it's something that I should necessarily cut off from my life, because I have to recognize that it gave me life for 23 years or 20 years. It gave me a lot of death as well, it gave me a lot of difficulties, a lot of bullshit, but there's something about this relationship with the evangelical community that I still feel called to. I still feel called to that relationship, even though I don't feel like I need their theology anymore. There's something about the relationship that's important to me, and that's why I'm currently deciding to stay in evangelical space, even though that's not really my spiritual home anymore. And this 1 foot in, 1 foot out method to church has really been life-giving, actually, and I've been surprised by that. It's been really life-giving to step into the things I love about evangelicalism, which is the community, and the community mostly. The young people, the drive to let's hang out, let's be a family. That's what I love about Hillsong. What I love about St. Ignatius Catholic Church is that reverence I feel when I walk in. That entering into a 2,000-year-old tradition when I walk in. That quiet space to just be before God. The stained glass windows, the images, all of those things that point me towards the divine that has been working in humanity for thousands of years. That's what I love about Catholicism, and I'm going to make another video about that later. But I wanted to wrap up this staying in evangelical space video, because that's, yeah, important. And that's the beginnings of why I'm doing this two churches kind of thing. So if you're a Protestant, you might have a problem with this. If you're a Catholic, you might also have a problem with this. But this, I cannot deny that this is what's giving me life. This choosing not to be dualistic about my spirituality. That's really what's giving me life at the moment. I'm deciding to trust that, because I trust the God that is behind this journey and this story. Yeah, that's it. See you guys later.